Hello friends, and hello friends, welcome to today's demo! I am super excited to do this demo today. I actually was so excited that normally I do a little dry run in the morning to be like, oh, is my idea, is that sound, does that make sense? But I actually did my dry run yesterday because I was so excited to make this for you. So, what I have done here, and I'm just going to find my paper here that has my signs. So, what I did was I went online and I found a picture of a guitar, and I was a black and white, and they actually had some pieces already separate, but I went and on my computer and I took the image and I like erased one section and I took the neck of the guitar out. This is called the bridge of the guitar. This is the pick part, I think is what that's called. And then what I refer to as the black hole in the middle and the body of the guitar. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to take our scissors and we're going to fussy cut this image out. And what we're doing here is we're going to be creating stencils. So in that idea, you can take any image out there and you can print it off as, I recommend a public domain image, right, because it's not copywritten, and then print it off onto a paper that's like thicker so you can make it into a stencil, and then you can cut it apart and turn it into a stencil for making any image you'd like, which is really cool. Wendy, the gal that used to own, her and her husband used to own Stampadoodle, Wendy one time did the same idea with a raven. She had a giant raven image, and then she traced the image onto her own fun papers that she had created with a jelly plate, and then she pieced the whole thing together. So what we're doing here is we're cutting this apart and we're turning it into stencils. So, and I'm not going to bother trying to cut out the oh gosh, my husband Taylor, he's a musician, so I should know what these are called. Tuning pegs, I think. Something along those lines. Anyways, I'm not going to cut those out because we're going to recreate that later. Okay. All right, so we're just going to cut this out here. We're going all the way down. All right, the neck of the guitar, the body, and then we're going to fussy cut the bridge. I actually had to ask Taylor about these questions. I was like, and what's this called? And this part? And then how do the strings? And he was like, so it was just really funny. But I've actually seen Taylor restring his guitar so many times that when I was creating this idea, I was like, oh, I have at least somewhat of an idea how to make it look a little bit more realistic. But it was just really fun being able to take my very little knowledge of the guitar and make a little miniature. So obviously for the idea for today, you can do whatever you'd like with your little miniature guitar, but I am going to create it in a fashion where you can actually turn it into like a little card if you wanted to give it to someone for their birthday and write a little message on the back. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces, the 4 pieces there. We are going to start tracing. Oh, and even though I was so prepared, there's some things I am missing. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to take the neck of the guitar here, and I'm going to trace this on here like so. And for the purpose of creating our little miniature world or miniature creation here, I actually, just because I know what I'm doing, we're going to actually cut this out twice. So I'm tracing it on here twice, and then we're going to cut it out twice.
So, a lot of times, like, stencils are those weird letters that you use.
Yeah.
So, this is a little different, isn't it?
Yeah, this is just me.
You trace around it.
I'm tracing around. It's more of like a pattern or a template.
Yeah.
I just call it, whenever I think of something that you're tracing, I just usually refer to that as a stencil, because then it's something that you can use again and again. But a template is also a sufficient word, a term that would also work.
Cool.
So, but yes, you're right. There is, and what you're referring to as that more of like that stencil look, sometimes that has to happen because of certain letters of a stencil won't show up if, like for example, the letter A. The inside of the letter A has to be attached because otherwise you have this free floating little triangle that you have to inlay perfectly and then trace around.
Right.
So sometimes there's what's referred to as the stencil font, and that's usually what they mean. Or like a stenciled image sometimes will have a little bit of that weirdness in there, but once you release the stencil, you sometimes have to connect the areas where the stencil wouldn't allow you to draw. Okay, so we have the neck there. Then I thought it would be kind of fun if we used wood grain paper for the body of the guitar.
Yay.
So I thought that was really fun. And so it was really, I was like, I was pulling these colors out yesterday. I was like, Taylor, does this color look right for the body of the guitar? And he was like, yeah, you know. And I was like, and what about the neck? Does this look like the right color for the neck of the guitar? And he kind of smiled. He was like, that would do. So yesterday I finished this after he'd already left for the day. And so I got home last night and I was like, I made one, which I will show you guys in a little bit. But I brought it home last night. I was like, Taylor, I had so much fun. I'm so pleased. It's a little miniature guitar. It was so sweet. When I was originally doing this, I was actually planning to do a little tiny guitar that was about this big, so you could put it on the front of a greeting card, but that was it was too tiny. It was too tedious. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing that. Okay, so now I'm going to use a piece of, let's see here. This is just mirror card. I'm going to use a piece of this, and although I can't write on it, I'm going to put this little indentation into it here. Now,
is it mirror on both sides?
It's only mirror on one side. The other side is just normal. Now, sometimes my mirror card paper gets kind of dinged up. This is actually the perfect time to use this paper to make a little pick guard, because pick guards get dinged up.
Yeah.
So anyways, I thought that was really funny. I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. I know. I'm really excited to bring one of these home later to show Taylor, because I'm like, look, I made you a tiny
Oh, so
little
he
one.
hasn't seen it yet?
He hasn't seen it yet.
Oh.
It's just so much fun.
Neat.
All right. So with your pick guard, I'm trying to remember the direction this needs to go here. It goes like this if you are a right-handed guitar player, but if you're a left-handed guitar player, I'm pretty sure it has to go the other direction. I think it goes like this. So I told Taylor when I was telling, Taylor's a lefty. So when I left this morning, I was like, I'm so excited. I'm gonna make a little good mini guitar today. And right before he left, he was like, make sure to make it left-handed.
Oh.
It was cute. So because in honor of Taylor, I'm gonna cut out a left-handed
And are
pick
you
guard.
going to indicate that this is for a lefty?
Yes, and I will tell you the difference. And the difference is, there are two differences actually. The first difference is there are 6 different weights of guitar strings.
Yes.
And so the guitar strings go from, oh gosh, I'm pretty sure it's
The low
lightest
one's
on the top
bottom.
and the
Yeah.
bass ones are on the bottom.
Yeah.
And so when you're stringing it, obviously if you're left-handed guitar
gotta be
player,
reversed.
the arm of the guitar goes to the right, and so it goes. Then the top string is up here, and the bottom string's down here. And then the pick guard is on the bottom of that. If you're a right-handed guitar player, then your arm is on the left side, so it goes this direction. And again, you have the lightest strings, and then the heaviest, and then the pick guard is down there.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it's the difference in there. So many people that are guitar players that are lefties tend to learn on a trying to learn how to play guitar right-handed, and because that way you're never limited. Well, Taylor is a lefty and he'll learn left-handed. So therefore, whenever he goes to a guitar shop, there are like 2 options to choose from, and everything else is right-handed. So he has this little fun joke. He contacted his dad a while ago, and he was like, I just wanted to say thank you for teaching me a left-handed guitar so I would save my money. Because every time I go there, I never find anything, because they only have 2 options.
Does he play both acoustic and
Electric. Yes, he
Yeah.
does. Yes. But his acoustic guitar has a pickup in it, so he can play. So he
Oh,
can play
nice.
like at like shows and stuff, and like just plug right into his amp. And he has a couple different acoustic guitars, and one of them is one that he's had since he was a little kid.
Oh,
and his
cool.
dad got him. Okay, all right. So I'm trying to remember how the thicker part needs to go on this side. So if I want my guitar to be
No, that's
this
right.
direction, it needs to be this one. This is what I want. All right, there we are. So we're gonna go with this, and not this guy. Okay, now the last and final thing is the black hole, or what Taylor refers to as the proper term, which is the sound hole. I refer to it as the black hole. All right, okay, and then the last thing we need is some twine. I have to go grab it, so bear with me. I'll be right back. Forgot to grab it last night.
Yeah, being a left-handed musician probably has its challenges, don't you think?
I would think
I'm
so.
thinking violin players, if everybody's, right-handed
Oh,
and you got the
yeah.
opposite one, they probably have to put you on the end or something.
That's true.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Oh, yeah, I was,
Well,
why we just
my
said
dad
left-handed.
was left-handed, so my mom was always trying to place him at certain parts of the table in the company.
Yeah.
You have to sit there, so you don't elbow anybody.
Yes, yes. A number of people in my life are lefties, and so I always, whenever we go out to eat, I'm always like, why don't you guys sit where you want to sit, and then I will figure it out, because I know you guys have very special spots. Okay, so for doing this part here at the top with the neck, what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay these on top of each other, and I'm only going to do this with one of these. We're going to take the small hole punch, and I'm lining these up on top of the little holes that already exist. and we're just going to punch those right out. That way we know they're all lining up.
Wow, you are really making a guitar.
I know, it's so much fun. I know,
That's
seriously,
exciting.
it is. And if you guys don't want to do this today, that's totally fine. But
to.
I just am so excited to share this with you because I had so much fun making it. I really love to make things that are miniature. They just make me so
Yeah,
happy.
miniatures are fun.
Okay, all right, so then we have that guy there. Oh, I'm going to erase the little pencil marks. That's not too bad on the other side. Okay, all right. And then we're going to start putting these pieces together. I'm going to use double-sided tape just in case I mess up where one of these is supposed to go here. So, when I was talking to Taylor about it, I thought it was supposed to be in the middle down here, but that's not right. It goes up here in the middle of the peanut shape. It goes right here. And then we put a little bit double-sided tape on the back, and we stick that on here like so. And then you have your bridge. Now the bridge, we're going to put double-sided tape on the back side, and then we're going to take, there are 6 strings. So we're going to lay those down here. So so you start in the middle, but then you go slightly to the other side of it because there are 6 strings. You have 3 on one side and 3 on the other.
There's not a lot of room.
There's not a lot of room here because we're making a very miniature guitar.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
It is so much fun. Oh my gosh. And then stringing the guitar. Ah! Oh my gosh. It's just so, it makes me very happy. I'm very excited to create these with you guys. All right. Then we're going to do 3 on the other side. And somehow I did not cut myself a 6th string. All right. And cut myself one more. All right. So then after you lay all those little 6 strings down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then I'm going to use double-sided tape again, and that's just going to lock everything in so nothing will move out of the way. All right, we stick our bridge down here at the bottom underneath our black hole. I know Taylor's going to watch this later and be like, sound hole, Ellie, it's a sound hole. Then I put double-sided tape on the back side here. So this is how stringing a guitar works. And I am going to try not to butcher this. So from the outside, you go up to the top one, and then it goes to the back. And I'm just going to bring that to the back side here. This is obviously not the official way, but the different sections where those go, that is correct. Or it's either this way or the other way, but I'm pretty sure it's this way. So top, and then go to the next one over, and that goes the next one down. And we'll stick that to the back. And then the next one.
May need to stiffen her on the neck.
I am going to do. That's why I cut out a second one of those, because when I was piecing this together yesterday, that was the very first thing I noticed as well. Was that because actually, and this is interesting that. Interesting knowledge for you if you're interested about this, is that this is actually what happens in real life, is that the strings actually put tension on the neck.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And then when you are using the tuning prongs, I don't think that's the right term, but the little knobs at the top, you use those, and that tightens the strings a little bit, and it changes the tune, right, just slightly. And so, but yeah, it has to do with the tension of the arm, or the neck of the guitar. And the neck also has a rod in it of some kind. I think it's a metal rod, I think is what Taylor told me. And so that also helps the neck from snapping, right? Because over time, you're putting all that tension on your guitar neck. You eventually want to have. Oh, I did this slightly backwards, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay. Once you stick that down there, then I'm going to trim these off the back side so all my little tails are not sticking out. And then I'm going to put double-sided tape all the way down here. And we put on the back side of it. Oh, not quite yet. Almost doing that. All right, so I have a little bit more of the mirror card here. I'm going to cut some tiny little strips. 2 little strips. And this one we're going to cut into thirds. And this one I'm just going to cut in half. Double-sided tape will go on this guy. We are going to use a lot of double-sided tape because instead of glue for this, just because we're trying to stick it to the twines and things, and sometimes that can kind of get a little finicky. All right, so then you have all your strings kind of in the middle-ish. About the best you're going to be able to do there. This guy sits down and backs to the other side. This will lock our strings in place. I got also the tape down the back. And these little guys are going to go silver side down, right on the other side of each of those little holes. And these are going to be our, I'm not using the right term here, the little tuners. We'll call them the little tuners, okay?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember what they're called. All right, and a little bit more here. All right, and the back of the neck goes on. And then we take our little tuning guys and we're gonna trim those down. And there we are, friends. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, one last little thing. Sorry, you wanna make this into a card. You have to cut one of these, one more of these.
Oh, so it has a back.
So it has a
doesn't
back.
Have a plaid.
Yes. So it doesn't have a plaid background. Oh my gosh,
Oh, that's pretty cute
we
too.
were almost done. Almost. So this is how you would make this into a card that then you could write a note to someone on the back side. Or if you're a kid and you want to just have a little miniature guitar in your life, you can just have that too. But this will at least hold it up a little bit longer over time. All right. That goes on here. And there we have it, miniature guitar times. Oh, and our little pick guard. I forgot the pick guard. Oh my gosh, I just got so excited. I'm gonna have to trim this down just a little bit because this needs to be just a touch smaller here. I got so excited I forgot to add that part on there. Sorry, any guitarists that are watching me, you're like, you forgot a part, Ellie. I know, I'm sorry. There we are. Okay, so this wraps along the edge of that. Okay, there we have it. Yay! I guess if you wanted to include a little pick, you certainly could. So there we have it.
That is
And
really
then this
cute.
one is the exact same, but it's just a slightly different shade of wood green. But that was the one I did yesterday. So anyways, there we have it. And you guys are welcome to come out and make your own little miniature guitar this week for just $5. They'll be up until next Wednesday. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.
How I have done with washi tape.
And I have a ruler that I use